Asterisk, she was once the woman who turned a fairy tale into reality. A story the whole world remembers. But what happens when the dream ends and another begins? Asterisk, the screen opens to a wide shot of Hollywood at night, the city glowing like a diamond under the dark sky. Neon lights flicker across the boulevard, the camera moving slowly past theaters, luxury boutiques, and the glimmer of red carpet events. The sound of traffic fades beneath the whisper of a soft voice, rich with memory. 35 years ago, a young woman walked these streets, searching for a chance for something more. And what she found was a love story that the world would never forget. The camera cuts to faceless silhouettes. A woman stepping out of a cab in slow motion, high heels clicking against the pavement. The image is not sharp, but blurred enough to feel like a memory. Quick flashes of familiar imagery follow hands reaching out. A car door opening, a woman's silhouette laughing under the glow of city lights. These are not literal recreations of Pretty Woman, but artistic nods to the film's most iconic moments. Vivian Ward became more than just a woman in love. She became a symbol of hope, of second chances, of rewriting your own destiny. A luxury boutique window comes into focus. Behind the glass, a reflection appears. The older, elegant silhouette of Julia Roberts' character. She walks slowly down the streets of Beverly Hills, her posture graceful but weighted with memory. The narration continues. Now, decades later, Vivian is no longer the dreamer. She has lived the dream. She has felt its beauty, its heartbreak, and its cost. The music begins softly strings. Building into a reimagined orchestral version of it must have been love. The rhythm is slow, reflective, and hauntingly beautiful. As the melody swells, the visuals drift between past and present. Hollywood's sparkle has changed. It is brighter, faster, but also colder. The camera glides through the city once more, showing the difference between old glamour and modern Hollywood. Billboards flash with the faces of new stars. Paparazzi lights explode against faceless silhouettes on the red carpet. And luxury cars weave through traffic like restless dreams chasing fame. Cut back to Robert's silhouette. Her walk is slower, more deliberate. She stops at a familiar corner, gazing at the same streets where her story began. Her voice enters for the first time, low and reflective. People think the fairy tale lasts forever, but what they don't tell you is that every story eventually changes. The screen fades to black. The music pauses. Then, in bold letters across the screen, every legend inspires a new beginning. The silence lingers, holding the audience in suspense. Then the music rises again, faster, more urgent. As the camera shifts to a new face stepping out of a cab under the same Hollywood lights, Zendaya's character, young, determined, carrying nothing but a suitcase and her dreams. And sometimes, destiny finds someone new. The camera holds on Zendaya's silhouette as she looks up at the skyline, her eyes filled with wonder. The city lights reflect in her gaze, the promise of love and struggle just beginning. The orchestral score rises to full force, preparing the stage for the new chapter. Asterisk, the screen begins with silence. Then the faint sound of ocean waves rolling against the shore. A slow sunrise creeps across the horizon, painting the sky in warm gold. For a moment, the noise of Hollywood disappears. The focus is on stillness. The camera glides over a quiet Beverly Hills mansion, not grand for show, but elegant in its simplicity. The garden is perfectly kept, yet there is a sense of loneliness in the air. Inside, the camera follows faceless movements, a hand placing a porcelain teacup on the table, a silk robe brushing against the floor, a figure standing near a window. The light falls across her silhouette, soft but powerful. This is Vivian Ward, now older, wiser, and carrying the weight of a story the world once adored. She doesn't need to be named, her presence is enough. Time has a way of changing even the brightest fairy tales. The voiceover whispers. She was once the girl who turned dreams into reality. Today she is the woman who has seen those dreams fade, return, and transform into something entirely different. The camera lingers on a desk filled with photographs, some framed, some scattered loosely. We never see faces clearly, only outlines. Laughter frozen in time, hands held, glasses raised in celebration. Each picture is a chapter of her life. A shadow falls across one of the photos as her hand gently brushes it aside. A subtle hint of grief mixed with gratitude. Cut to a scene of her walking down Rodeo Drive once more. But this time, she moves differently. Not the eager steps of a girl chasing chance, but the calm, measured stride of a woman who has lived it all. The boutiques sparkle brighter than ever, new names replacing the old. But her silhouette remains a quiet contrast to the frenzy around her. Vivian Ward is not just a memory of the past, she is a reminder of what love can build. And what time can take away, the narration continues. And though the world remembers her story as a perfect ending, she knows. Endings are never that simple. As she pauses at a shop window, reflection staring back at her is not of a young dreamer, but of a woman who has carried love, loss, and legacy. The orchestral score deepens, low piano chords mixing with the swelling strings, giving a sense of both nostalgia and strength. A brief cut shows her inside a theater, sitting quietly at the back as the screen glows with the faces of a new generation. The young stars, the flashing cameras, the restless hunger for all feels familiar, yet distant. Vivian watches with a faint, unreadable smile. She knows the city's rhythm better than anyone. She knows its beauty, and its cost, the voiceover, lowers to a near whisper. She once walked into a story no one believed she could write. Now, she stands as the silent guardian of her own past, and perhaps of someone else's future. The music swells suddenly as the camera shifts. A cab door slams. A suitcase drops onto the pavement. A young woman, Zendaya's character, appears across the street, stepping onto the very same Hollywood boulevard where Vivian's life once changed. Vivian notices her from afar, though the girl doesn't see her. It is a fleeting moment, but it carries the weight of fate. The camera freezes on Vivian's silhouette as her voice is heard for the first time in dialogue, soft yet certain. The city doesn't change. Only the faces do. The screen fades to black. Then, in silver letters, a legacy never truly ends. Asterisk, the screen bursts alive with color and sound, no gentle strings this time, but a pulsing modern beat that echoes the heartbeat of the city. Neon reflections ripple across rain-soaked streets as a cab races down Sunset Boulevard. The world feels faster now, louder, unforgiving. The cab door swings open. A young woman steps out, her silhouette sharp against the chaos. She is not wide-eyed with innocence, but focused, determined. Her suitcase rolls behind her as she lifts her gaze to the towering billboards, each one flashing faces of stars who came before her. This is her first night in Los Angeles, and the city seems to breathe against her skin. They come here with dreams, with fire in their eyes. Some burn bright. Others fade away. But every generation brings someone new, someone who refuses to be invisible. Zendaya's character walks forward, weaving through crowds on Hollywood Boulevard. Street performers dance, cameras flash, voices shout, but she doesn't slow down. The camera captures her reflection in a shop window, echoing Vivian's reflection from Section 2. This visual rhyme silently connects their destinies. She pauses at a streetlight, staring at a giant billboard showing a faceless star in a glamorous pose. For a moment, the lights of the city wash over her, turning her into one of them, an image of possibility. Her hand brushes against her chest, not in fear, but in a promise to herself. This city doesn't hand out dreams. It tests them, breaks them, demands sacrifice. But for those who fight, it gives back something greater than gold. The camera follows her into a small cafe just off the boulevard. The scene slows as she sits at a corner table, pulling out a notebook filled with scribble song lyrics, sketches, pieces of dialogue. Her world is not polished. It's messy, raw, but alive with creativity. She is not chasing luxury. She is chasing expression. Outside, Hollywood moves like a storm. But inside the cafe, she closes her eyes, imagining the future she refuses to let slip away. The music changes, blending orchestral strings with a low electronic hum, classic romance colliding with modern rhythm. Cut to her walking once again, but this time past the same street where Vivian once stood. The two worlds overlapped, the older silhouette watching quietly, the younger one stepping boldly forward. Neither speaks, but the moment is powerful. The torch is being passed, not through words, but through presence. And so, under the very same lights where one story began, another takes its first breath. The camera tilts upward, revealing the vast Hollywood skyline shimmering against the night. Zendaya's figure is small against it, but her energy fills the screen. Her story is not about waiting for a rescue. It is about creating her own destiny in a city that has no mercy, yet endless possibility. Her voice breaks the silence for the first time, gentle, but filled with conviction. If this city wants me to fight, then I'll fight. But I won't lose myself to do it. The beat drops, louder, brighter, carrying her silhouette forward into the unknown. The screen fades to black. In bold letters, a new face, a new dream, a new love story. The screen opens not with music, but with silence, broken by the echo of footsteps. Two pairs, one steady, calm, deliberate. The other quicker, lighter, filled with restless energy. They do not walk together, yet the sound blends like a rhythm meant to collide. Cut to Julia Roberts, silhouette Vivian, standing on the balcony of an old theater. Its golden arches now faded, but still shining with memory. Her gaze drifts over the bustling crowd below. Her world once started here. She knows what this city can give, and what it can take. Then the scene shifts, Zendaya's character rushing through the very same crowd, bumping into strangers, her suitcase jolting behind her. She is chasing something invisible, moving against the current while everyone else seems to know their place. The camera cuts between them in sharp flashes, the calm wisdom of the past, the burning urgency of the present. Two women, two stories, two moments in time, destined to meet. The camera slows. Zendaya, breathless, stops to collect herself near the entrance of the theater. The crowd thins. She glances up, sensing eyes on her. High above, Vivian watches quietly from the balcony. For a second, their worlds align, the young dreamer and the legend who once was. They do not speak. They do not need to. The screen captures only their silhouettes, framed by light and shadow, connected by silence. The music begins to rise, a blend of the nostalgic orchestra. From the past and the modern pulse of the city, it is not one or the other, but both, weaving together like two generations, sharing the same heartbeat. Cut to a parallel montage. Vivian walking slowly through Beverly Hills, memories pressing against every step. Zendaya sprinting through auditions, turning rejection slips into determination. Vivian's hand brushing old photographs. Zendaya's hand scribbling new dreams into her notebook. The narration returns. Steady and powerful, Hollywood never forgets its past, but it always demands a future. And sometimes, the past and the future must stand face to face. The scene builds toward their first true meeting. Inside a small art gallery, Vivian studies a painting of a faceless woman in red. Across the room, Zendaya enters, her eyes immediately drawn to the same piece. They stand on opposite sides of the frame, gazing at the same painting, different eras, same vision. Slowly their eyes meet. There is no grand introduction, no dramatic reveal, just recognition. Vivian's faint smile carries warmth and understanding, while Zendaya's curious gaze holds questions, hunger, and the raw energy of someone who has not yet lived the story. The score swells. Classic romance and modern rhythm fusing in full harmony. Vivian finally speaks. Her voice soft, reflective, almost like passing down a secret. This city, it doesn't hand you love. It makes you fight for it. And when you find it, it changes everything. Zendaya doesn't answer right away. She simply nods, her eyes shining with both fear and belief. The moment hangs between them, fragile yet powerful, like a thread tying two stories together. The screen cuts to black. Then the words appear in bold silver letters, two eras. One story of love and reinvention. Asterisk, the screen ignites with energy. The pulsing beat of the city returns distant car horns, street performers, and the soft strum of a guitar somewhere in the night. The camera sweeps across rooftops, glittering with fairy lights, skyscrapers glowing like stars, and lovers holding hands as if the world could stop in their embrace. Zendaya's character steps into this rhythm, not by accident, but by fate. She turns a corner on Hollywood Boulevard, nearly colliding with a young man. His face is never revealed, only a silhouette against neon, a faceless figure of possibility. Their moment is small, almost forgettable, yet the music shifts the instant it happens. A softer note rises beneath the chaos, hinting at something more. Sometimes, love arrives when you're not looking for it. Sometimes it appears in the middle of the noise, as if it has been waiting all along. The two share a brief exchange, no words spoken, just glances. She drops a notebook, he bends to pick it up, and their hands almost touch. The camera slows, stretching that second longer than it should, letting the audience feel the spark. He returns the notebook with a nod, and she smiles. Small, cautious, but real. The montage begins. Quick cuts of their faceless romance, laughing together on a rooftop cafe as the city glimmers below. Sharing an umbrella in the rain, their silhouettes illuminated by neon reflections. Walking barefoot along the beach at dawn, waves brushing their ankles. Dancing under string lights in a small alley, as if the world beyond doesn't exist. The score blossoms into a dreamy remix of It Must Have Been Love. Not the sorrowful ballad of the past, but a hopeful modern variation. The melody swells with warmth, carrying their story forward. In the city of broken hearts, love dares to return. Not as a fairy tale, but as something real. Fragile, imperfect, and beautiful. But the trailer does not let the romance remain untouched. Shadows creep into the montage. Paparazzi cameras flashing. Arguments whispered in dark corners. A door slamming shut. She stands alone beneath a giant billboard, her reflection dwarfed by the image of someone else. Love in Hollywood is never just between two people, it is always between them. It's the city and the world watching. The narration deepens. Every love story has its test. And in a city built on illusions, the test is always the same. Will love survive when the lights go out? The montage ends on a rooftop. The faceless man holds her hand tightly, the city sprawled endlessly beneath them. For the first time, she looks uncertain. He pulls her closer, whispering something we cannot hear. Her eyes soften, torn between fear and hope. The music fades into silence. The camera lingers on their silhouettes as the screen goes black. Then, in silver letters, in the city of stars, love finds a new face.